Welcome to MySchool Training. In this tutorial, we'll look at the form builder in the admissions module and see how you can use it to create branded functional application forms for your workflows. Let's start by opening the configuration panel and navigating to the admissions configuration page. You'll find this in the business and operations section. Click configure next to admissions. If you don't have access to this area, please contact our support team or reach out to your CSM for assistance. Once forms are created, they appear in the middle section of the page. Forms can be active or inactive depending on whether they are currently used in a workflow. If a form has never been attached to a workflow, it can be safely deleted. Deactivated forms appear at the bottom of the list with a strike through. You can also reuse the same form across multiple workflows. When setting up a new workflow, the first step is to create a placeholder form. Each internal and external step in a workflow needs a form. So we recommend building your workflow first, then coming back to refine and design the forms later. Forms are organized into sections, which appear as tabs to the person completing the form, called a submitter. After finishing a section, they simply click Next and move on until all required fields are completed. On the final section, they'll be able to submit the form and complete the step. For the placeholder form, let's keep it simple. Just add student name and surname, along with the fields from the student registration section, notably grade level and applicable year. We'll come back to this form later when we start building the workflow. Now let's create our first form. Click Add Section and give it a name. Some schools like to use numbers, letters or codes to keep their forms organized in the configuration panel. These names are internal only, so they won't be visible to the person filling in the form. You can also choose whether the form should be saved to the applicant's student profile as well, in PDF format. If you're working in a multi-school system, you can even create different forms for different schools. Next, add a title to the section. In this case, we'll create a section for student information. On the right-hand side, you'll see fields that are available on the student profile. Keep in mind that guardian information must be added in a guardian-only section, while student sections could include other elements like custom fields or file uploads. It's best practice to keep one section focused purely on the student's demographic and contact information. Before adding fields, remember to insert empty lines to organize the layout. You can also add a subtitle to give the submitter a bit more context. To add the fields, simply drag from the left and drop them onto the form, or click the plus icon to add them to the last line of the section. When designing your form, think about how it will look on mobile devices. As a rule of thumb, try not to place more than 2 fields on a single line. Next, we'll add the guardian section. When building this section, remember that each guardian added to the form will need to complete every field in that section. First guardian's address can later be shared with the student and additional guardians once the student is enrolled. To avoid repetition for the person completing the form, you may want to leave the address field as optional. The system will only allow guardian-related fields in this section. If you try to add anything else, you'll see a pop-up message explaining the restriction. You can also add help text to the fields to guide the person filling in the form. This is especially helpful for fields like phone numbers, where you may want to explain the accepted format. For example, MySchool will only allow numbers and certain special characters in the phone number field. Let's now look at some design elements. One option is the rich text field. This doesn't collect any responses. It's simply used to display information to the submitter. You might use it to explain the admissions process, share legal information, or add helpful instructions. You can also include images and hyperlinks. Remember, this form may be the family's first interaction with your school, so it's worth making it clear, welcoming, and easy to use. Short text fields and large text fields allow the submitter to answer a question. These are often used to confirm things like terms and conditions. You can also pair them with a date picker, for example, asking the submitter to type their name and add the date as a digital confirmation. You can also add radio questions or checkbox questions. Radio questions allow the user to choose one option, while checkboxes allow them to select multiple answers. These are particularly useful if you want to collect additional information using custom fields, such as transport requirements or other operational details. Any information collected this way can be later extracted through quick reports. And finally, you can add a file upload to your forms. It should only be added once per form. All forms uploaded during any of the steps will be shown to the submitter. Use the help field to ask them not to remove files previously uploaded unless they wish to update the file to a new version.